So this is a video I've been wanting to watch for, God, what must be like 3 weeks now. I saw this and I kept on saying, I'll save it for my stream. I'll save it for my stream. And I kept forgetting about it. But I think this is one that everyone can get behind because, I mean, Ilgi knows this from Call of Duty. The AAA devs are out of touch. I know this from all the MMOs that I play. AAA game, the devs are out of touch. It doesn't matter what game a AAA dev is making. They are largely out of touch with their communities and they don't give a fuck about them.
Let me tell you a story about this little game called BattleBit Remastered. Now, at a glance, your first thought might be,
that looks like Roblox.
But if you look at it a little bit closer, you might realize why this game is consistently in the top 10 on Steam charts, beating out the likes of Modern Warfare 2 Warzone and Destiny 2, and has sold almost 2 million copies in its first month.
God
and
damn.
Would you believe me if I told you that
I knew it was popular, but 2 million? Holy shit.
This game was developed by only 3 people? Well, you best start believing in indie dev masterpieces.
Turner, you're in one.
One of the craziest things about BattleBit's success is that it's not a hugely innovative game. It takes much obvious inspiration from the old Battlefield entries and other shooters like Squad, places that concept inside a world with Roblox graphics, and charges $15 on Steam. No strings attached. BattleBit is filling—
Hold on. I've got to do this now. So this game is $15. 3 people made $30 million. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. When are we getting Roblox World of Warcraft? Holy shit. Well done to those 3 people for putting the entire AAA industry to shame. God damn. They probably deserve more than 30 million for doing that. Just for my amusement. God damn, that's amusing. On AAA games, too big to fail in this, out of principle, out of touch, because they try to hit as many targets as possible. Yeah, probably. It's like the Disney theory, where they're trying to be as inoffensive and as safe as possible, and because it worked in the past, they'll do it again, and they won't take any risks, and they'll do like the most basic shit possible. Because it's like FIFA. They think it works like FIFA. No, we just make the same thing and we make no controversy and we make it as bland as possible and we'll have people coming back. And that's going to keep happening until, they're in the dirt and wondering, why are people not playing our game? How did this happen? But we made all the right choices. I don't understand. This is the safest, cleanest game we've made. That's got a bunch of bugs, but the cash shop's good. So yeah, that's probably why.
A void in the market where the franchise that inspired it has gone down a very confusing path of alienating its core fan base. Over the last several years, EA and DICE have continued to miss the mark in so many fundamental ways for the Battlefield franchise, just not understanding what players loved about the games in the first place. And BattleBit proves that those players are still out there looking for an experience that will replicate the big team battle gameplay of—
These players are fucking desperate. They're not just out there, they are fucking desperate. And I know this because as like an MMO player, I look at like FPS players, Battlefield players and stuff, and I look at them and I see the death throes they're going through and complaining and rage, and I'm like, I 100% understand. I know that pain. I get it. I 100% get it. They're just like me. It's always like that. Oh yeah, there you go. Joe Inro's got it. First time? It's your first time, bro? Yeah, your game failed, huh? Welcome. The MMO player saved you a seat at the table. Come sit with us, buddy. We've been through all of this before. We know where you're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. Just speak to us. We've been there already. We've been here for a very long time. I promise you it doesn't get better.
of those older titles. Somehow these 3 developers have managed to create a game that addresses all the feedback that fans of Battlefield have been asking for. Destructible environments, a detailed server browser, a functioning scoreboard with all the stats you'd be interested in, map and game mode.
I'm sorry, that's a bit funny. That's a bit funny that AAA devs can't get a functioning fucking scoreboard. They can't pass information to a spreadsheet correctly. Three fucking dudes in their mom's basement figured out how to use spreadsheets before an entire AAA company did. Oh, that's beautiful. That's incredible. Oh shit. We aren't allowed good games. Just ask all the developers complaining that Baldur's Gate 3 sets unrealistic standards. Listen, I completely agree that Baldur's Gate sets unrealistic standards, right? I think it's completely unfair to compare a bunch of devs at Larian to a bunch of fucking chimpanzees sitting in an office at a AAA studio. Like, they don't have the brain power. They don't have the capability. You cannot set Baldur's Gate 3 as a standard because Baldur's Gate 3 was made with people who don't have a room temperature IQ. And now you're asking room temperature IQ AAA devs to do the same thing. And that's just not fucking possible. They can't even figure out how to wipe their ass in the correct direction. And now you want them to make a good game? I mean, come on. That's ridiculous of you, Lionheart. How dare you expect, feature complete games? I mean, come on. You're just way out of pocket with that. How could you? Expecting video games to be good and to set a bar of quality. It's ridiculous. The bar isn't very high when a functioning scoreboard is one of the most requested features. That will never not be funny to me. Guys, can we get a functioning fucking scoreboard, please? Holy shit. Oh, that's beautiful.
Mode voting, with the inclusion of voting for day or night options, a competent class system that synergizes very well with each other, lengthy progression systems to work towards unlocking new equipment and weapon upgrades, and cosmetics earned through various milestones in the gameplay. Oh, and no battle passes or microtransactions.
Oh,
Might
shit.
this list be the reason?
Oh, shit. Now we know why they're so mad at BattleBit. Now we know why they're mad at Baldur's Gate 3. No Battle Pass, no MTX. Fuck everything else. That's the biggest problem.
Reason BattleBit has so many more players than all the Battlefield titles combined right now? These developers went ahead and made the Battlefield game they've always wanted, and took great ideas from other similar shooters like proximity chat, bandaging your own wounds to prevent bleedouts, and building cover or smashing through walls. When developers make games, they would want to play themselves. This is the result. So why does this prove that AAA developers are out of touch? Well, my good friend Justin Truman has something he wanted to tell you all.
Oh. I think I know where he's going with this, but before I go off on a tangent, let's see what he's gonna say. But I think I know where he's going with this. I hope the cucks at DICE will get the memo for the next Battlefield. Don't worry, Selm. I can promise you that they won't.
We make games we want to play.
All right, hell yeah, Justin, that's good stuff.
Because
this is like I go to a burger joint and we make burgers people want to eat. We didn't shit in the burger. We didn't put our pubes in the burger. We didn't piss in the drink that comes with the burger. We didn't put the meat up our ass before shitting it out onto the grill. We just made you a fucking burger that's edible. And then everyone else is like, oh, that's ridiculous. Edible burger? That's just an unrealistic standard.
Took down that motto a little while after D2 launch.
Oh, what? Where are you going with this?
We make games we want to play. It sounds a little too much like it's just like gatekeeping for bald middle-aged white guys like me.
Oh, fuck off, you big lamb.
Have you ever heard a more
There it
out-of-touch
goes.
statement? But this doesn't come as much of a shock because
Gatekeeping is making a decent game.
most AAA studios have proven time and time again that they don't make games they want to play. They make games that will lock you into spending hundreds if not thousands on in-game purchases, and sink hundreds if not thousands of hours of your life inside them. Now, it wasn't always this way. Developers used to really care about the games they were creating. And some might say this is only a leadership or publisher issue, and the game developers working at these studios are...
They used to care. They used to care. But then money got involved. Right? And now they no longer give a fuck anymore. Right? It doesn't... how do I put this? Once upon a time, money wasn't the most important thing in their life, a dream was. And then over time, it just got worse.
Being forced to make the game the way leadership wants. And that's absolutely true to a certain degree, because it seems that maybe some developers at these larger studios are actually making games they do want to play. But ironically, it's not games that gamers want to play. For example, when Elden Ring came out, there were some notable developers from both Ubisoft and Guerrilla Games that criticized Elden Ring for not being user-friendly enough, criticizing the game's design at...
This is like this biggest fucking psyop in video games, is all these AAA developers trying to convince you to give a fuck about all these things that no one gives a fuck about, right? Like the UI and all this stuff. It's like, we care about gameplay, we care about story, we care about these big, wide, massive things that make for a good game. And they're like, but the UI isn't perfect. They're trying to like mentally manipulate people into like thinking the way they think, when it's like they're so out of touch. They don't register that people don't go and watch a movie so they can get 3 fucking ads in the middle of the movie, and all they give a fuck about is the ad. That's what they're doing. Fuck off. Elden Ring is designed to kick you in the dick. It's not that hard. Come on. Elden Ring's not that hard. Except for Moog. Fuck Moog. Moog can go eat a fucking dick. I must have died to him like 200 plus times before I killed him. That whole nihil thing where he hits the blood in the air and it's just unavoidable and you need to tank your way through it and then drink your flasks. Fuck that fight. Fuck, that was bullshit. Once upon a time, the product came first. Now the product is an evil headache that needs to be needed to enable repeat something. And you look forward to the future dick kickings. I do, actually. You know what? I enjoy the dick kickings that Elden Ring gave me at times. I enjoyed it. I think it was a challenge, and you know what? It felt fucking good. It feels really good when a game is super challenging and you know 100% of the time you lost because you didn't know what the fuck you were doing. You lost because you weren't good enough. And then you get good enough. And that feels amazing. That feels incredible. That's what a game is supposed to do.
Every single level, from the UX and the quest design to the level design and the lack of an easy mode. Essentially criticizing Elden Ring for not adhering to the generic cookie-cutter design found in every other open-world Ubisoft game. But what these developers don't realize is Elden Ring's success is due to the fact that it did not follow the AAA gaming trends of other major publishers.
Even better than that, Elden Ring is such a massive fucking success because they took a formula that worked from Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and they advanced on it. They took all the good shit and they made it better than it was in previous games. Right? And you can tell this because if you play Dark Souls 3 after playing Elden Ring, you're like, yo, I feel a bit limited. If you play Dark Souls 3 before you play Dark Souls 1, you're going to be like, I feel really limited. If you play Dark Souls 1 before you play Demon Souls, you're going to feel the same way. Because they took what was good and they made it fucking better. That's the way it's supposed to work. This is the thing about art. Producers have no idea how to make art. They know, I mean, same with managers as well. They know people want it, but they have to gamble on it being that thing. When they get the thing that sells, they wheel and deal it as far as it can be done. Yes, but you see, there's the problem, is they kind of burn it out, and then they never advance on it, because they're like, why would I make it better when it's the thing that's already selling, right? without changing the core product. Okay, you said it there. But that isn't enough. Now they've discovered through mobile games that some people don't have the ability to stop spending. Yeah, people have gambling addictions. Gambling addictions are way more widespread than people register or realize. And because of that, they can take advantage of that. Worse than that, if you've got a bunch of kids playing mobile games, these kids it fucks up their brain because they think that this gambling system means something. And generally speaking, they fucked for life, especially the ones that are like really vulnerable to addictions like that. Because now they can't get rid of the addiction, and they're going to end up in a casino, or they're just going to end up in a game later in life where they're spending like something fucking ridiculous like 20k on a gambling system in a gacha game because they didn't get their favorite little girl from Genshin Impact. And it just gets worse from there.
It has a very old school design that doesn't hold players' hands every step of the way, sometimes forcing the player to think and figure things out on their own. I know, what a concept. Because this is apparently how Elden Ring should look, according to these
Oh,
developers.
God.
And what's
I
funny
love
about
that
this
shit.
picture is that despite it being an obvious meme, it's not far off from reality.
This is not a meme. This image is not a meme. This is how this game would look if it was designed by one of these fucks. This is exactly how this game would look. Except the background, the gameplay, it wouldn't look like that. It would be way worse. This is not a meme. This was not a joke. This was just an accurate representation of another timeline.
Plenty of modern games look exactly like this. Now, Elden Ring is not a perfect game. There are plenty things to criticize, but not adhering to modern gaming standards isn't one of them. And when game developers at these studios put out awful takes like this, maybe you'll understand why I don't put all game developers.
Oh fuck, I love these takes. The fact that Elden Ring scored a 97 on Metacritic is proof that reviewers don't give a flaming fuck. He said poop, but that's a gay word. About game UX. My life is a lie. Nor PC graphics stability and performance, apparently. Nor quest design, really. Imagine being so fucking butthurt and like mad and upset that someone else did the things you refused to do, and then everyone loved it. Imagine being fucking mad about that. Like, this is the highest form of copium to be huffing, is to have a take like that about Elden Ring. Holy shit.
Developers on a pedestal like they're infallible, perfect beings, because a lot of the developers are clearly out of touch with what gamers want. Elden Ring sold more copies than Ubisoft can even fathom, and these devs don't understand why. They don't get it.
20
and on the
million.
flip side, some developers are absolutely being held back from creating a game that gamers would love, all the while dealing with constant incompetence that surrounds them, or the management and publishers above them. And for those developers, I absolutely sympathize with and hope to hell find a way to break out and deliver gamers an experience they made driven by passion. Because the success of games like BattleBit prove that gamers who reject modern gaming trends are still a very large and substantial market to appeal to.
So here's actually a beautiful example of that, right? Is actually New World. If you look at the devs of New World, if you go back and you look at all the old interviews before New World was released, you actually had these groups of devs who were like super fucking passionate about the project, and they kept on saying how this is going to be like this amazing open world loot PvP game, and it's like it's going to be unique, and it's going to like there's going to be people who don't like it obviously, but there's going to be these players who just love the game and always want to play the game. And then Amazon management stepped in. A book salesman took the fucking helm and was like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to turn this into a theme park. You've spent years developing this into an open world full loot PvP sandbox? Yeah, throw that fucking idea in the trash. We're gonna need you to rework this entire game in a couple of months, fix none of the bugs, and then release it to the public. That's what we're gonna need you to do, buddy. And you can see this, right? You can see this if you played New World. You can see this in the development, that what they made the game into is not what the game was intended to be. It's like someone came to them and was like, we're going to build a car, right? And then the manager was like, okay, that's cool and all, but can you stick your dick in the exhaust pipe? And then the people building the car were like, well, I mean, you can, but that's not how you should use it. And then the manager was like, right, we need you to redesign this car exclusively not for driving, but putting your dick into the exhaust pipe. And then Amazon's shocked when everyone's got a burn on their dick going, yo, this sucks. I don't like fucking this car's exhaust pipe. I would rather it have driven. It's the same thing. You play New World for long enough and you can feel that this game is not what it was meant to be. Probably a little cousin of an exec at Amazon that seized, and thus New World had 6 months to become a Care Bear. So it's worse than that. They had this guy, I think it was, it wasn't Andy Jassy. I forgot what the book salesman's name was. But basically, he came in, he told the devs, fuck you, make this into a theme park because that's what worked for World of Warcraft. Oh, by the way, if you ever want to make any changes to any of my decisions, you need to write a 5-page report on each and every single change you want to make, whether it's big or small. Now, can you imagine being a fucking passionate dev, being like, yo, I need to move the UI 5 pixels to the left so that it stops blocking this one interface option. And the guy's like, well, where's your 5-page report? Or we can't move it 5 pixels to the left. Fucking disgusting. Management are fucking disgusting in video games. Because they have no idea, they don't play games, they don't give a fuck about games, and they just have this whole profit incentive in their head. I'm pretty sure most of them don't even like video games. Here's my problem. Is New World now what they want to be after changing course? Absolutely not. No. But they're trying to deal with it, and they're trying to improve it so that it is something better, because they've been handed a pile of flaming shit, and they're doing their best to extinguish the flames and polish that turd as much as possible.
Let's pick on Ubisoft a little bit more here for a second. A publisher that encompasses the 80s low-budget horror movie trope of the game industry, meaning that every sequel they put out is somehow worse than the original. A company that never learns the most important lesson from one of their own characters.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Oh,
then I started
fuck,
seeing
right.
everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks.
You know what was really sad about this game? Was Voss was such a good character, but the boss fight at the end was such fucking bullshit. It was so ridiculous. What was that? Talking about Star Citizen, what's the next video? So next video is a tier list while I work on 2 longer videos. But yeah, 100% agree as well. Voss was the best villain. Voss should have, been crazy, killed his boss and taken over, and then we had to kill him as the final boss, instead of getting some fucking stupid dream sequence shit that we got in that game.
Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing. Over and over and over and over and over again. Thinking, this time, it's gonna be different.
Ubisoft was once a company that was a trendsetter, leading the industry across several genres. Tactical shooters, stealth titles, open world games, and pushing the industry forward while publishing many other great projects.
Fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, fuck me. That middle one there, that unlocked a few, that just unlocked some core memories in my head. I fucking loved Splinter Cell.
But with the success of games like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, they've become extremely stagnant, and every one of their other major franchises have slowly become this homogenized blob of bloated open world checklist simulators.
Okay, I gotta say this about Far Cry. I hate the fucking towers. Like that, you've got all these compounds and shit that you've got to go take over, and you've got to get to the top of those towers. I hate that. That was so annoying. That felt like such a chore every single time. It's fun the first few times, and then it's just not fun after a while.
Forever canceling any and all projects that might be interesting and break that mold, or sleep on some of their best IPs, or hold others hostage in development hell because they can't figure out a way to make it print them money yet. And it's sad to see a company that once published a wide array of competent games Being a trendsetter, simply resort to creating the same game over and over and begin to chase trends. Sometimes it works out for them financially, in the case of Assassin's Creed adopting the Witcher 3 formula, even if it is a bastardized half-hearted attempt. And other times it doesn't work out for them, in the case of Hyperscape. This isn't the only flop due to trend chasing from Ubisoft, but it might be the largest. In 2020, the Battle Royale genre had largely established the big players among Fortnite, Apex.
I think this is something that management doesn't actually understand about video games, right? Is once the big players are established, once the people have decided these are the games in this genre that I'm going to give a fuck about, like making a new BR, making a new thing in that same genre is not going to get you popular. Right, you've either got to advance the genre dramatically or just make something new in a genre that's not currently super popular. Because once the big boys are established, no one's hopping off the big boys that are continually updated and improved upon and developed to go play some new bullshit that maybe 5 other people are playing. Yeah, breaking the mold is like breaking the floodgates. Yes, the second you do something like unique and special and amazing, like there was PUBG, and let's be honest, PUBG was the most basic bitch BR. And then when Apex Legends came out, it was faster gameplay. It was it had a whole bunch of different systems. It had unique characters. They were like, okay, what if we took a battle royale, like a BR, and we added Overwatch-like characters to it, and we increased the pace at which the game is played, and we then kept on advancing on it and releasing new characters. And obviously, because it advanced the genre, was going to take over, right? If you do the same shit, even if you do it just a little bit better, not dramatically better, but just a little bit, you're going nowhere. No one's playing your game.
And Warzone. So when Ubisoft came late to the party with Hyperscape near the end of 2020,
no one gave
it might have been inevitable for it to end so poorly. But it wasn't just because it was late to the party, there were plenty of other factors preventing its success. So no matter how much money Ubisoft paid streamers to promote the game, it just didn't stand a chance. Now there's
and that's the best part, is they paid streamers, right? They paid streamers to promote the game, for it to be special. And they were like, guys, I don't think giving streamers money is how I don't think it works, guys. Guys, people didn't play our games after we gave money to a bunch of fucking streamers. That was the excuse they made, instead of making a game that was like dramatically better than anything else in the same genre.
The reason I bring all of this up, not just Ubisoft, but almost all AAA studios were once the trendsetters. There's a few years in particular where we saw the release of so many groundbreaking and genre-defining games. 1998 is probably the best example with games like Half-Life, StarCraft, Metal Gear, Ocarina of Time.
Fuck, don't. Why has he got to take me back there? Why has he got to take me back to the early 2000s, late 90s? Why has he got to do this? Huh? Explain to me why he has to hurt my feelings about modern games with the old saucy nostalgia, with your fucking Pentium 4s and your StarCraft 1, which was so big that people today, even in Korea, are still fucking playing that game and spending their life on it. Oh my god.
Pokemon Red and Blue, and many, many more. Or even 2007 with BioShock, Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, Mass Effect, TF2, COD 4, so many others. The idea of the AAA space delivering...
This guy's like really upsetting me. He's actually genuinely upsetting me by showing me all those amazing titles. You were young and games were better. They were. you know, I think it's not even that games were better, it's that games were more polished and there was less shit to dig through, right? There were less games, so it's like this. There were less gems, but all the gems out there weren't covered and hidden behind piles of shit that you had to dig through to find them. That's what makes it so bad. So there's like really good games today, but you will almost never hear of them unless some streamer plays them and accidentally makes it popular, or you yourself go digging through hours of piles of shit to find those gems.
Bring that many trend-setting
Halo 3 and oh, I'm not even an FPS guy, and even I understand that pain, dude.
games in a single year now seems unimaginable, because none of the largest studios or publishers are looking to lead or innovate anymore. And I think the last real time we saw any innovation was maybe 2013 or 2011. Not that there haven't been a few solid titles since then, but not many trend-setting ones. These days, innovation is primarily coming from the indie scene, where some might say that Fortnite set the Battle Royale trend. It was actually indie developers that set that trend with mods for games like Arma 3, games like H1Z1 King of the Hill, The Culling, then PUBG, and finally taken over by Epic Games with Fortnite. And then Apex and Warzone, you know, we know the rest of the story from there. Extraction shooters are looking like the new Battle Royale. Various indie teams have taken a crack at it, a few slightly larger teams have developed games like Hunt Showdown and Escape from Tarkov, and now Bungie, fully backed by Sony, are jumping on the extraction shooter train, hoping to flesh out an established genre and pump some AAA level polish onto the...
And they will fail. They will fail purely because they are incapable of making a game that's anywhere near as good as that. They're just not capable of doing it. They don't have the skills they need, and they will make a game that is shittier, but is highly monetized in comparison. That's all you've got. Oh, the rain's back. Let me just up this again. Let me just check my audio. Yeah, there we go. Team Fortress, Counter-Strike, Dev Defeat, Gunman Chronicles, The Specialist, Zombie Panic were all so good. They were all so good. They were so good that you couldn't actually play them all. And you had, like, your friends would play ones that you didn't play, and you'd have to hear about how amazing they are from your friends, who would then get you into the game because you had never even fucking heard of it. And you picked it up and it was a banger. I disagree with the extraction shooter trend. I don't think it'll be the next thing. I think the extraction shooter trend is actually done. I think I agree with you on that, Ilgi. I think it peaked with Tarkov, and now it's going to whittle off, and I think these guys are actually going to fail because they've missed the trend entirely.
The project. And while I'm not too keen on the idea of the game myself, I don't doubt it will make a pretty big splash in the gaming scene. Because as much as it pains me to say, Bungie are some of the biggest trendsetters for the corporations, not so much the gamers. With the Destiny franchise, Bungie single-handedly set in motion towards a trend for live service, and loot systems taking over every single game, and charging premium price for the product, then stuffing it with microtransactions on top of it. The big corpos have been following Bungie's lead ever since 2014, trying to make their own Destiny, which have flopped time and time again. And it's why
get fucked. I hope they keep flopping, and I hope these companies fail and die, so that whatever passionate devs are trapped in that miserable dead-end job making dog shit games can escape, can escape their handlers and go make something amazing.
Sony purchased Bungie, because Bungie have set a precedent in the industry. Not to create innovative games, or even good ones, as our good friend Justin Truman always reminds us, but to create innovative ways of printing money. And now this all comes full circle, back to BattleBit. Because while the AAA industry chases live service trends, over-bloated with ridiculously high dev counts, putting out mediocre products hell-bent on destroying the industry with monetization, ironically, BattleBit shows that a lot of indie devs are now taking inspiration from AAA developers of the past and iterating on their visions and seeing a lot of success.
Yes, because all those indie devs grew up with these fucking amazing titles, and they were like, these guys were the best. Do you remember Blizzard back in the day? Do you remember Warcraft 3? Warcraft Vanilla. Oh fuck, it was so good. Just thinking about it, I'm mildly jizzing in my pants, right? It was so good, and those devs, those indie devs who are coming up now, grew up playing those games. and they look around and they're like, where the fuck are these amazing games? And that's how we get BattleBit. That's how we get games that are good.
It's kind of crazy to see how the inspiration has essentially flipped from AAAs iterating on indies to now indies iterating on AAA of the past. Again, sort of a full circle kind of moment. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Indies are carrying gaming right now for me. I've been playing so much BattleBit.
Not just for you, dude. Indies are carrying for everyone. If you ever want to see something new and innovative, you've got to go look at an indie game. You will not find that shit in any AAA game that releases. If you want a solid kind of experience, then you go get... not even solid. What am I saying? If you want a milquetoast experience, go play a AAA game. That's how it works.
And plenty of other games like Tunic, which is also a great example of a game that borrows from AAA gaming of the past and puts its own twist and spin on that classic Legend of Zelda style. But I really do recommend checking out at least one of these games on screen right now, because they might surprise you.
Hold on. Okay. BattleBit, understandable. Never heard of Neon White. Tunic, I've heard of. I want to get that for my wife. I think she'll fucking love it because she really enjoyed A Link to the Past, the remade version by Nintendo. Never heard of that. Vampire Survivors was the fucking GOAT. Vampire Survivors was like a 90s game, and it's so good and so obsessive. And never heard of Shadows of Doubt. I'm going to have to keep this list in mind.
But let me know if you agree that AAA developers are out of touch with what you guys want. Of course, AAA will always have an audience of some kind, but I'm assuming if you've made it this far into the video, you might care a little bit more about genuinely good games that have a soul, rather than games designed around focus group testing and statistics. Hope you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Fucking banger of a video. Absolute banger. 100% deserves a like.